lifting it! The whole castle! No one has this much power.
Sorry, what were you saying?
In a chaotic world where humans and demons were constantly at war with each other, around 2,000 years ago, the Demon King was murdered, and this led to peace wherein demons and humans would coexist with each other. Now, we're taken to the present day, where we see the Dulzugate Demon King Academy in Dilhade, where Misha Necron is going for her entrance exams. She meets a boy named Anos Voldigod, and they strike an instant friendship. They are considered to be hybrid demons and are discriminated against by pureblood Zepes Indu. However, Anos easily shames him in front of everyone. Later, they face off again in the exams, and this time, Zepes wears demon armor. It still proves to be ineffective, and Anos toys with him by killing him repeatedly and reviving him at the same time. Zepes finally gives up and pleads for mercy. After the exams, Anos invites Misha to his house, and she meets his parents, who both assume that she is his bride. They go for a walk later, and Misha is grateful to Anos for his kindness. Suddenly, they are trapped by Leorg Indu, who is Zepes' brother. He angrily kills Zepes for failing the family name and reveals that purebred demons secretly kill hybrids that have too much power. Now we learn that Anos is the reincarnation of the true Demon King, but Lord doesn't believe him. Anos revives Zepes as a zombie and makes him attack Indu. The both of them die in combat, but Anos revives them just for fun. Later, Anos is declared a misfit at the academy due to the excessive powers he showed during the exams. We get a flashback to when Anos made a deal with human Kero Kanon in between the war. He had offered to sacrifice himself for world peace, and Kanon remained grateful to him for it. Back to the present day, Anos learns that his legacy has been misrepresented, and people think the real Demon King is someone named Avos Dilhevia. Classes begin, and Anos starts off by proving the teacher Emilia wrong in her very first lesson. The class needs to pick 2 leaders, and Misha's sister Sasha volunteers along with Anos. He tells everyone that he is the true Demon King, but is not taken seriously, and nobody joins his team except for Misha. Sasha belittles her with her demon eyes, and Anos puts her in her place by shunning her powers. She challenges his team to a competition, stating that the loser has to serve as the subordinate of the winner without any resistance. Anos agrees and makes light work of her team with minimum effort, despite Sasha using up all her powers. She eventually has no other choice but to accept the terms and become his disciple. He brings both sisters home to his parents, and everyone has a good time. Anos drops the sisters to their home, and Sasha seems to like him now. She kisses him awkwardly before saying goodbye. Sasha and Misha talk about Anos, and it looks like Sasha is finally being friendlier with her sister. The next day, the class is told about the 7 elder demon emperors who were Anos' subordinates at one time. One of these emperors, Ivis Necron, arrives, and Anos casually talks to him, much to everyone's surprise. However, Ivis doesn't remember him even after being sent back in time by Anos. Ivis is amazed by Anos' power and meets him after class. They talk about the history of the Demon King. Anos figures that someone has altered the past and is trying to take his place. Meanwhile, Sasha's team tries to persuade her to leave Anos, but she rebukes them, pledging her loyalty to him. Later, the team have to enter an old castle to retrieve magic items as part of an assignment. The castle turns out to be Anos' old home. He learns that Misha and Sasha are twins, so he plans to get them birthday presents. He shows them a secret passageway and leads them to a lower level where his magic scepter is kept. Then he takes Misha to the treasure room and offers presents for her and Sasha. However, when Misha gives Sasha a robe as her gift, she stabs her and claims that this was her plan all along, to gain access to Anos' treasures. But Anos is completely unaffected and belittles her attempt as amateurish. He cures Misha and is about to hurt Sasha, but Misha stops him from doing so and allows her to leave. She reasons that she will disappear at midnight on her 15th birthday, because she never existed in the first place. Anos learns that Misha and Sasha are the same person. Ives had split Sasha's fetus into two beings, so that they could fuse to become a more powerful demon when they turn 15. Misha expresses gratitude to Anos for his kindness. It makes him emotional and he hugs her. They meet Sasha and she challenges Anos to another duel, hoping to beat him this time. However, he wins easily again, and Anos forces her to reveal why she hates Misha so much. We learn that Sasha has been trying to get Misha to hate her all this time because she was going to sacrifice herself instead. However, her spell doesn't work and she begs Misha to reject her to no avail. Anos offers to help them both by sending them back in time to fuse with their unborn fetuses. But then Ives breaks in and pierces Anos with his sword. It does nothing to him and he toys with Ives before killing him. The god of time, Hugo Laravias, revives Ives and fuses with him to attack Anos. Ives attacks Anos and even stops time, but the Demon King is immune to his powers. He offers to obliterate all the injustices from Sasha's and Misha's life if they accept him as their true Demon King. They immediately say yes, and he sends them back in time, after which he summons his demon sword Venus Dunor and destroys Ives and Hugo. He revives Ives, who now bows to his master. He was being controlled by forces operating under Avos. Anos instructs him to investigate the other emperors for more information. Meanwhile, Sasha and Misha have their fate reversed and come back to the present world. Anos is pleased with the results and gives Misha a ring as her gift. They take the scepter so that they can get full marks on their assignment, and then Anos invites them home for dinner. A new transfer student by the name of Lei Glanzudli joins the academy and people are curious to know about this new pureblood. Emilia is shown to be biased against hybrids as she tries to sabotage Anos' team by misplacing the scepter they brought. Anos finds the culprit immediately and mocks Emilia for her inefficiency. A Unitarian named Misa expresses her admiration for Anos and takes the team to a secret fan union for Anos. Misa reveals she's half demon and half spirit, but her father is royalty, so he rejected her. This was what led to her to become a Unitarian. Misa and the fan union asked Anos if they can be a part of his team, and he agrees. The next day, two more emperors named Gaius and Idol train students for the upcoming Magic Sword tournament. This is where Lei makes his introduction. Both he and Anos defeat the emperors and get along well. Lei wants to join Anos' team, but Anos tells him to take the help of Misa and the fan union so that they can fight. The battle begins and Anos convinces Misha and Sasha to use their true potential to defeat Misa's crew. Anos and Rei engaged in a thrilling encounter, and Anos wins using just a tree branch. He also begins to suspect that Lei is the reincarnation of someone he knew 2,000 years ago. Misa and Lei joins Anos and the sisters for dinner. Anos' mother, Isabella, reveals that Anos had almost died in her womb, thus further suggesting that Anos is indeed a reincarnation. Lei starts to develop a romantic interest in Misa as he gets to know her. Later, Anos and Lei are put against each other in the Magic Sword tournament. Both participants think that something fishy is going on. One of the emperors, Melchais, meets Anos and bows to him. He reveals that his memories were also erased, but he accepts Anos as his demon king. He says that the royal supremacist might be leading Anos to a trap, so he suggests dropping out of the tournament to avoid any danger. Misha cooks a meal for Anos at home, and he offers to take her out on a trip. He makes a magic model for her and forms it into a ring. They became closer to each other, after which they meet Ives disguised as a cat. He tells him that Lei's adoptive mother, Sheila, is critically ill with an extremely rare disease, and there's definitely a mysterious trap for Anos at the tournament. Anos decides to pull out and is ridiculed at first, but is cheered on by Isabella, and then his dad shows up with a sword he painstakingly made by himself. Moved by the love of his parents, Anos changes his mind and faces his first opponent. He wins effortlessly and Emilia gets pissed because it's her brother who loses. Surprisingly, Lei becomes a loyalist and attacks Anos, who defends himself by grabbing onto Lei's heart. He senses he's being held hostage with a contractual sword and believes it has something to do with Sheila. He and Lei both reach the finals without much effort, after which Anos gives his sword to Isabella for safekeeping and takes Misa with him to see Sheila. They learn she's half spirit, half demon. She also says that she's suffering from spirit's disease and Lei has partnered with the royalists in order to save her. Misa tries to use her source power to cure Sheila, but it's too risky for her. Then, Emilia tries to take Anos' sword away from Isabella and attacks her. The Fan Union tries to protect her, but Emilia is too powerful for them, and she kills them all. Anos shows up and revives the girls, after which he kills Emilia. He decides to punish her by reviving her as a hybrid so that she can learn to treat everyone with respect. Lei shows up at the hospital and stops Misa from risking her life to save Sheila. He leaves before Anos arrives. Lei and Anos face off in the finals, but there are some special terms in effect. This involves a rigged bracelet being put on Anos' hand to drain his magical power. Despite having the advantage, Lei violates his contract because he wants to defeat Anos without any hindrance. They put on a show and Anos wins even despite his handicap. However, he gets his arm cut off and he gets locked inside a magic dimension by Melheis, who was the mastermind all along. Gaius and Idol also join in, but are defeated by Lei in no time, after which she goes to save Sheila, who's being held captive in an alternate dimension. Melheis is too powerful for Anos, as more than half of his power has been drained by the bracelet. Things aren't looking good, but then Sheila sacrifices herself to become a spirit sword for Lei. He gives them a temporary advantage, and this allows Anos to activate his destruction sword. He kills Melheis and revives him without the mind-controlling subordinate. Melheis reveals that he was attacked by an unknown entity only recently, and Anos notices Avos watching from the corner. He disappears after that. Anos thanks his father for making the sword that allowed him to win the tournament. Then, he revives both Lei and Sheila, after which Sasha officially commemorates his victory. We're taken to a flashback where we see Anos talking to Kanon. Kanon sensei Jerga attacks Anos out of spite and is defeated instantly. Anos offers to talk to Kanon at his place to resolve the war and teleports. Back to the present day, Emilia is replaced by a teacher named Menno. She tells the class that they will be visiting the Hero Academy Azeshon, a city in the human realm. The students are confused, so Anos gives them a lesson on human magic. He trains his team after that. Gaius and Idol are revived, and they reveal that they were also under someone else's control. Melheis warns Anos against resurrected heroes. He agrees to be careful and teleports the team to Azeshion. Once there, Sasha and Anos meet third-year student, Eleanor Bianca. She tells them that even the humans believe in Avos, and this angers Sasha. Then we learn that there is a class of reincarnated heroes called Jerga Kanon. Anos meets Laos and Ledriano. They claim to be reincarnations of Kanon, but Anos doesn't believe them, especially after defeating Laos with just a blink. Upon seeing this, Eleanor tells him that Kanon was muttered by a human 2,000 years ago. The rest of the academy reaches Azeshion, and the Demon Academy meets the headmaster of the Human Academy, Diego. Everyone is asked to display magic, and Ledriano begins proceedings. The top-ranked demon student Revest struggles to do so, and the humans laugh at him. However, Anos exposes that the humans had rigged the place so that demon magic wouldn't work. Ivis tells Anos that a rumor is being passed around in order to get him killed again. Meanwhile, Lei gets closer to Misa by giving her a necklace during a fair. The next day, the exams begin, but Eleanor is nowhere to be seen. Anos offers to fight the humans, but Revest doesn't recognize him as a pureblood, so he forces Menno to choose him. However, the heroes cheat by using holy water and defeats Revest's team easily. Diego refuses to help the demons, so Anos does it instead. Revest finally asks Anos for help, so he drains the lake immediately to nullify the advantage. Then, he challenges the heroes to take him on. The canon reincarnations seem to be possessed by hate and are being told by a mysterious voice to kill the demons. They are also enhancing their powers with a barrier, and Misha counteracts it by building a castle at its center. Another canon reincarnation by the name of Zesha shows up and puts up a fight against him. Sasha and Lei win their respective battles without much difficulty. Even Anos takes it easy with Zesha and Ladriano. He defeats them at first, but then they overpower themselves with the souls of the 10 million residents of their city. Anos uses the Unitarian fan group's love to counter them. The mysterious voice appears again and commands Zesha to unleash a source explosion despite Anos' warning. Eleanor asks Anos to meet her at the shrine, and he sends Misha first. However, she is attacked by Diego and is almost killed before Anos shows up and heals her. He rebukes Diego for bringing shame to Kanon's name and kills him with disgust. Then he meets a trapped Eleanor who reveals that she is magic. She says that she was created with a taboo magic spell and has to clone humans endlessly as punishment. Anos frees her from captivity, after which she gives him a lot of exposition regarding her origin and the clones. She says that Jerga had created a spell that makes humans aggressive against demons. As a matter of fact, he was the one who betrayed Kanon and had him killed by one of his soldiers. Eleanor asks Anos to kill her and to end her suffering, but he suggests saving her instead. Before anything can be done, Diego's clone shows up to interrupt them, but he gets killed by Avos, who is controlling the remainder of the 7 elders. He taunts Anos and leaves. After a few days, Avos and the humans declare war against each other. Anos, his subordinate emperors, and the team decide to prevent any lives from being lost over such a trivial issue. Lei takes this chance to propose to Misa before they go ahead with their plan. The battles begin, and Anos heads to Avos' castle to fight him, but he isn't there, and Lei goes missing. Anos connects the dots and locates Avos. He notices a necklace on him and identifies him as Lei. After some conversation, it turns out that Lei is the true reincarnation of Kanon. Kanon reveals that his sword had allowed him to rewrite history after Jerga's betrayal. He had given up for humankind after this incident. Now he wants to sacrifice his own life, just like Anos had done 2,000 years ago. They fight and Anos kills 6 of his 7 sources with ease. But then he tricks Kanon into killing him so that humans can stop hating demons again. However, Diego orders the Zesha clones to self-destruct, and Eleonora tries to reason with him. Suddenly, he transforms into Jerga, who has now become sacred magic. Kanon struggles against him, so Misha and Sasha combine as one to fight him. However, Jerga's powers allow him to recreate endless human clones, and he eventually causes a source explosion. To everyone's surprise, Anos resurrects himself quickly and he nullifies the explosion. Jerga powers up by forcefully absorbing human souls and takes on both Anos and Kanon, seemingly gaining the advantage. Jerga powers up by forcefully absorbing human souls and takes on both Anos and Kanon, seemingly gaining the advantage. That's when Anos gets powered up by the Fan Union again and unites with Kanon to eventually kill Jerga. Humans start to get along with demons and peace has been established. Lei is reunited with Misa and they resume their romance. Anos also helps Eleanor break free from her curse so that she can stop making clones. The show ends with Anos' parents going crazy when he brings Eleanor home, thinking she is an additional bride to Misha and Sasha. And there you go, that was the Misfit of Demon Academy. What did you think about this concept? Let me know in the comments below.